Hello everyone, my name is Nicholas Dewberry. I'm a software engineer, and today I'll be going over HTMX for dummies. We'll just be going over some very simple HTMX GET requests, as well as how they work, how to use them, and how I feel about them. The roadmap is that we're going to be defining the problem that HTMX seeks to solve. We're going to show off a little example, give a little detailed explanation, then just move on. So, what problem is HTMX trying to solve? So I call this a GET problem. So you have a web page that's static. You want to display something that isn't there by default, and you want to have some type of update to that web page without writing a bunch of JavaScript, without doing a full page reload, and without doing anything that's too complex or crazy. So we don't want to include like multiple libraries. We don't want to include multiple languages into our code base. We don't want to introduce larger JavaScript frameworks to kind of help with this. We just kind of want a very simple, okay, nothing's on our web page. We want to change that. Let's update it, right? We need something that's like very efficient too. So I want to show an example of this actually in progress, and that's going to be my own personal website. So this is a Goth for people in Rush. It's kind of a tutorial for using the Goth stack. A big part of that is going to be HTMX. So what I actually do is I have an HTMX button over here, and let's just say you want to go into more detail about why we should use the Goth stack, right? You click it, and then you see a bunch of HTML code being shown off. It has like underlining. It has other styling elements too. Here we go. Like this one's centered, right? Well, like the other one's above centered too. But you can see it's like different than like these, right? The ones above it. Well, I guess justified is a better word. So what's actually happening here below the surface? So if we actually go over to the to inspect element of each individual button, what we can see is that we have an HX GET request to this URL just called a show me why goth, right? So this is gonna be show me why goth 2. This is gonna be show me why goth like 3, right? It's gonna just show you all of that HTML code. So if we actually just like put that into our URL, just go directly to it, then we will see, okay, we have like the header here, we have like a bunch of like other details here, and we just have like the entire code, the entire HTML code just like being sent over when we click the button. And it's very kind of simple to understand, kind of straightforward. We're setting GET request, displaying it, rendering it, pretty easy. So let's kind of go into more detailed example now. So this is my code inside a Golang, and this is just very simple basic router. So what's happening here is that we have a simple GET example website. So if we run this, if you go over to, should be simple GET example. Simple GET, simple GET example. There we go. Is that you have this very basic website, you click the button, and then it changes, right? So what's happening here? Well, what's happening here is that we have an HX GET show example, and what it does is you click it, it goes over to the show example, it looks at this template, and then just like renders it to the page, right? So again, just click it, and let's just try removing that from this. So if we just remove it, right? Click it, nothing happens. You add it back, now it works, right? So again, all it's happening, just click it, just displays, simple as can be. And you can do more complex stuff if you want to. So I have like a really, so my website is like a bit more complicated. I'm also creating a social media website that uses HTMX, and there can be like a lot of different details you can do, especially if you implement it with a Golang template. So you can have like a lot of if statements. You can have the exact same HTML like look vastly different depending on what the user theme is, depending on like what the user, if they have any disabilities, for example. If you want to do like different accessibility things as well, there's like so much you can just do with that. So as a general, just like my thoughts on HTMX, I like it a lot. I use it every chance I get. It also lets me avoid multi-language code bases. So what I don't like is like having Go as like my back end, and having a bunch of like Tailwind or like HTML on my front end, right? And then having to write a bunch of JavaScript to make like the front end and back end interact. I found that like JavaScript, when you're working that way with like 3 different languages, you kind of run into like a lot of different issues. It also integrates great to 99% of stacks and code bases. So what I mean by that is like in any case you just need like just display something up to the web page after clicking a button, but that works then. I'm saying it's like bad for AI because you can't just ask like ChatGPT, hey, make me an HTMX like web page that when I click the button does this. Like OpenAI and ChatGPT isn't really good for that, because it's like a multi-context window, right? So you have like stuff on the front end, stuff on the back end. I find ChatGPT really struggles for that. However, it's good for AI workflows. Even though like it's hard for like ChatGPT to get it, it's really easy for like humans to get it. Because all you just need to do is just like logically understand how they're interacting, how they're replacing each other, and how they're interacting. Um, and yeah, but one of the downsides though is it doesn't teach you like the Ajax and JavaScript way. So if you're looking for a job in the JavaScript ecosystem or like as a typical web developer, you're gonna like run into some issues because you're not really learning the skills that like a lot of these companies are like looking for. But like when it comes to startups or like making lean ideas or making MVPs, I definitely recommend HTMX. And yeah, thanks for watching.